Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to have a look at another endgame study. This is not actually a study, but this is an endgame, a game played in 1969. Um, it's white to move and win. We'll first have a look. White actually blundered this position, and they drew the game. We'll see what happened in this game. So bishop g6 was played, offering a trade of bishop, and then black was able to draw this game with precise endgame play. They simply took the pawn first, and after the bishop was captured, now you should make sure that you do not take the bishop. If you take the bishop, this is a winning endgame for white. Now this concept we have already discussed in endgame 78 and endgame 88 of the series 100 endgames you must know by Jesus de la Villa. I'll put the links in the description. Please go and have a look at those videos, and this will give you an understanding why this endgame is a winning endgame for white. So possible continuations, for example, this is called a floating square, and as this floating square is reaching the 8th rank, this is the easy winning endgame. Possible continuation, for example, if h6 is moved, for example, the king goes to g6, and then you can move the e6 pawn, and as you can see, one of the pawns will eventually queen. Now going back to this position here, after h6 you might be thinking, why can't I simply take the other e5 pawn? If you do so, then of course white will queen as well. So that's the whole point. In bishop, after bishop takes on f5, you cannot take the bishop. You simply have to take the pawn first. Now you might be wondering, how come black is drawing this position? The key idea is the bishop, the white bishop does not cover the queening square, and especially when if it's in the corner, if it's a rook pawn, and if the bishop does not cover the queening square and the white's king here is far away from action, this is an easy draw. We'll see what happens. They simply push the pawn forward, king moves forward, and then we have king c2, king goes to f7, and then we have bishop h7. This actually blocks all three squares here. The black king cannot come forward, so what they do is they simply go to f6. The whole idea is to come to g5 and attack the pawn. The bishop now goes to g8, and after g6 the pawn is pushed forward because white has to protect the pawn. And then after g7 they agree to a draw. Good luck, because the bishop is not covering the queening square, white will not be able to chase off black's king from h8, and this is a theoretical draw. There's no way you can win this position unless actually black blunders. Now going back to this position here, we all had a look. So bishop g6 was the blunder here, and that's the whole thing that led to all this consequence. Now we'll have a look at how can white win this position. There are two ways you can win the positions. Both ways, both moves are you have to push the pawn. First one, we'll have a look at e6. So you can push the e6 pawn first. As you can see, the e6 pawn is very close to the queen. So first here, black takes the f4 pawn. Now the problem with black's bishop here is that the bishop cannot cover both the pawns, and white's king is far away from the pawns as well, and that's where the problem is for black. So a possible continuation is e7, and the bishop now has to be committed to defending the e pawn, and then you play h6. Bishop can give this check, but white simply has to move to safety, and after king f5, as you can see now, white queens, and this is a winning endgame for white. Going back to this position here, we had a look at e6. Also h6 is also winning. So what happens is black can simply take the pawn, and then you now play the e6 pawn. You can play c2 and give a check, but that really doesn't matter. And after that you have king e5. If that's the case, you simply have to push the pawn forward, and then after bishop d7 you play h7, and white queens and win this position. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and it's bye for now.